Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Godus. Developed by 22 Cans, with the head of the helm being the well-known Peter Molyneux. It's been in early access, or I guess beta, alpha, take your pick of those three, since September 2013. There have been a few iterations of this game over the years, with some elements vanishing from the game entirely and others just cropping up. The idea of this review is to judge the game on how it currently plays. We will ignore its past, ignore the controversy that struck this game in its past, and this will be purely based on what we have right now. According to the title screen, the game is currently 53% complete, and it's in its version of 2.4. So straight away, if you do buy this game at full price, you're buying just about half of it. Upon entering the game, you'll hear two people talking, one of which is Peter Molyneux, the other being somebody called Jack. This is the in-game narration, which, really annoyingly, is on by default. You may wish to turn this off when you start. However, keep in mind that if you do so while the narration is happening, it won't go away. No. It keeps bloody playing until it finishes the little segment of speech, which feels like it really does last forever. At the beginning of the game, you have landscaping as pretty much the only thing you can do. You can only do this with sand. If it's below the sand level, like sea level, you won't be able to sculpt it. Also, if it's grass or higher, you will not be able to sculpt that either. Those powers you will acquire later on. The sculpting itself does kind of feel relaxing and smooth. The only time it becomes a massive pain in the arse is when you need to sculpt a few layers at a time. After a few hours of this, I hope you love the idea of carpal tunnel syndrome. It still feels like they could work this a lot better than what they currently have. Don't get me wrong, pulling the land feels okay, but there's just so damn much of it that it gets really tiresome really quickly. Buildings you construct with help of followers feels, I'd say, very much like the good old days of Populous. It's actually nice to see those little abodes go up in vast amounts as you send out your little builders. There is a downside to it, however, that being that as you get better buildings, more complex buildings, for example houses made of stone or wood instead of the beginners mud huts, those mud huts, they seem to, well, they stay forever. If there is a way to knock buildings down, I have not found it yet. No idea why they did it this way. I really don't know. It seems like a really odd design choice. Research is performed in the form of cards and stickers. The idea is you meet a certain populous threshold to unlock a new card or power. Then once you've found that card, you add stickers to it to activate it. The stickers are found in a random chest which are scattered all over the world. Some you will have to dig for, and sometimes it's through several annoying layers. What I really don't understand is why they decided that this would be the better idea. I mean, I need stickers for timber? There are trees scattered everywhere throughout my land. Why do I need a sticker when, well, what should really be happening is my followers should be wandering off and gathering the resources for me, stone and wood being prime examples. But instead they went with the sticker in chests idea. I have no idea why. Feels like a very odd design choice to me. At a certain point in the game, you will unlock the belief resource. You will need this to sculpt the land that is either lower in layers or above the layers of sand. So typically grass and wood sculpting. Collecting belief is still, I would say, vastly annoying. Clicking and dragging over each and every damn building you have to pick it all up. You can make it easier to collect later on, but there is a massive snag to that system, which I will talk about in a little bit. While the game paces kind of quickly at the start, within the first, I'd say 20 minutes, you will likely start making larger buildings for your followers to live in. These can take about averaging 2 minutes to make, with 5 builders on them. A bit of a hike up from the smaller abodes, which takes, well, literally seconds to build. Now, it's not a bad choice for the buildings to be done like this, but it does get worse, sadly. Once you find the second expansion beacon and you start to construct it, you will see exactly what I mean. Even with 5 followers on it, you are looking at maybe 10 minutes to get a bit more land to work with. I can only imagine it gets worse from there as you progress through the game. As you push on into the game, you will find the dock, which you will need to repair. This enables a type of, well, I guess mini game. The general idea is that you have a group of 5 followers on a small landmass, and you must guide them to a shrine as quickly as you can with the shortest route possible. It's a great way to earn extra stickers to get those few annoying cars out of the way. So far, the dock missions have been pretty simple, and they are not too bad, to be honest. They are, however, time gated, as in you will get new followers every few minutes, and you are limited to the amount of followers you actually have at any one time. So you can sit there and do these missions over and over, but at some point you will have to stop and be forced back into the main game. Now, back to the belief system. You can make it easy to collect by turning all those little abodes into what is basically a settlement. It's a card you unlock down the line and requires a crap ton of stickers to unlock its power. However, that's not even the worst bit. That comes in the form of the currency required to build a settlement and how much it costs. It will cost you 3,000 belief to turn an area of abodes into a settlement, which is not too easy to gather in the first place. So this will take time. It does mean you only have one little pink bubble to click for a large amount of belief, but getting to that point itself really is a click fest. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the graphical style of the game and its soundtrack. The graphical style, back when the game was released, from what I remember, was pretty pleasing. However, in 2017, this game doesn't feel like it aged well at all. And my native resolution of 2560 by 1440, while being selectable, doesn't fill the screen at all. I am met with the black borders on the left and right of the screen, and this is the only game I own which I have seen this happen so far, which is pretty disappointing. Now, for the soundtrack, and this one is a bit of a weird one for me. Upon entering the game, you will hear music. It's nice music. It's relaxing music. It feels like it fits perfectly to this game. To my own recognition, this is the only time I have actually heard music in the game. The rest of the time, it is just sound effects, and I have no idea what that's about or why that was a choice from the designers. Maybe the music is just not simply there yet. I don't know. So, I guess it boils down to the ultimate question: is there a game actually here to play? It feels like a huge sandbox right now with no real indication of where it's going, which should not be happening with a game that's been in early access for, nearly 5 years? There should be, in my opinion, by now a clear roadmap of where this game is going. I'm building, I am flattening land, and yet I have absolutely no idea why. There's just no clear indication or direction. Another downside, which I never thought I'd have to mention this day and age, is the sheer amount of crashes I've had to deal with within this game. I have not had games crash on me like this in a fair few years, with the exception of maybe Just Cause 2 and that damn graphic setting that you have to just basically uncheck a box for and it fixes it. This game crashes a lot, and I do mean a lot. It's got a lot of issues that this far in the development stage you would not expect to see. As a building sandbox, this game is okay. It's not brilliant, it's not terrible, it's just okay. I just wish it had more of a goal within the game, like Why am I doing all this stuff? I don't know, I just seem to be doing it. Despite its overwhelming negative criticism, if you take this game as it sits now, if you can also ignore its developmental issues, it's not a entirely bad game. I actually found myself enjoying the landscaping side of things. The lack of a rotating camera though, on a game like this, is an odd one for me. More so when you're attempting to sculpt the landscape, it can be quite difficult. Godus, right now, or as it has been renamed, Godus Wars, is $10.99 on Steam. You basically get two games for that price tag. You get Godus and you get Godus Wars. Godus Wars is basically the RTS version of this game that was also panned heavily by critics. But we will review that version another time. Two games over $10.99, which are both basically sandbox games, is not a terrible deal. I honestly do think though that if they continue to work on this game and fix all the stupid crashes that plague it, there is a potentially decent game here. But it's not worth the price tag right now. Maybe if you found it in a sale, it might be justified. Like I said, it's got a lot of stick over the years and the negative press has lingered with it. I personally don't deem it as a lost cause, at least not yet anyway. However, with the development of The Trail, another game by 22 Cans, which is on mobile, it's had a lot more success. It looks like this game, in its current state, will be as good as it gets, which is a damn shame. Especially when you look at what the head of the development team did for us all in ages past, such as Populous, Dungeon Keeper, Theme Park, Theme Hospital, Magic Carpet, Syndicate, Fable and Black and White. They are all great legendary games. It's quite sad to see someone with such prestige fall so low to this. Avoid paying full price for this. It is simply not worth it in its current state. Give us a like, share or subscribe if you found this video useful. Dislike is also there if you wish to click that. Sorry for the lengthy review, but the game felt like it needed it. I've been Wolf, and I'll see you again soon.